All right. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I is, the good Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic video for that ass today. Sincerely hoped everybody is blessed. Sincerely hoped everybody's having a good one. The good doc's having a great one. Yes, Mr. Big O'Brien, I was late. Y'all be all right. I'd rather get you guys in the building chilling before I go live. Anyway, official time check, 8:35 in the p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which makes it about 7:35 in the p.m. Central Time, which makes it about 5:35 for everybody repping that West Coast. And of course, Philippine Standard Time, 8:35. Excuse me. In the AM, wherever you are reporting in the world today. Maraming salamat sa lahat for sharing in this moment with the good doc. Definitely here to give you guys some key tips and things that I believe to be absolutely accurate in my assessment as living in the Philippines and things that I have learned over time. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. Y'all gotta get these likes up when y'all first come in. Don't even sleep on that, because you know I'm checking. Y'all know I'm gonna do a quick check. Make sure you guys get the likes up on the video. Highly appreciated. Definitely make sure that you guys check out the BOOTYLOO Chronicles and all of my other ebooks listed in the link in the description area below. I also have my Patreon and the whole nine listed there for you guys to check out at your own discretion. Okay, wanted to give people a chance to come into the building before I actually go all in. But you know, if you guys come in a fair enough amount, please, I'm going to go ahead and knock it out and go ahead and get started on the live stream. They'll just catch up when they catch up, all right? So let me go ahead and get my shout-outs real quick. Showing love to my boy, Mr. Andy Orlano. You were here first, 5 minutes early. I appreciate you coming through. I know Doc was late. If you're still in the building, I'm just giving you your love, man. Mr. Big O'Brien, I see you all up in here trying to make Doc feel bad about being late, but you know what? That's one thing you can't do. I work on Filipino people time. You know what that means? That means I come in when I'm ready. All right. Like I said, Doc is always fashionably late. I'm always late. I tell people all the time, if I wasn't dead, I'd probably be late to my own funeral. Shout out to my boy Mr. Smith in the building. Appreciate you coming through. Sam One, I see you in the building, my brother. Appreciate you coming through. The big homie Earl Owens coming all the way from Tacoma, Washington, I believe. Shout out to you, my G. And Jason Harris, I see you. Cousin City's in the house. I appreciate you guys coming through and showing love to your OG, the good doc, Dr. Mike TV. Okay, give me a second. I gotta get a sip of water because the throat is acting a monkey right now. And when I get my water, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this live stream for that ass. Hold on. All right. It's time for us to go all in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you ask me, only if you ask me, I believe that texting is actually the best thing for foreigners in the Philippines. I repeat, texting is actually the best thing for foreigners in the Philippines. You know, I try to make sure that rhyme right. You know, I like to make sure I rhyme. Doc is very creative in his approach to this whole live stream bid, and definitely creative in my approach to my channel. So definitely hope that you guys are picking up what the good doc is putting down. If I'm talking too fast, tell me to slow down and I'll make sure I take care of that for you. But I know a lot of us like to talk and meet women in person, you know, have conversations and whatnot. But I do believe that texting is a great tool to utilize in the Philippines. What I've learned throughout my experiences living in the Philippines is that texting is a big thing here. You very rarely hear about people talking to Filipinas on the phone. You barely hear about guys having conversations with Filipinas, you know, unless you meet them in person. It's a little bit different. But when you're trying to get to know them, however you get their number, most of the time it's going to be through texting, most of the time. And what I've learned over time is that, you know, with texting, you got to understand that some Filipinas don't have perfect English, okay? They do speak pretty good English here. Everybody knows that. I mean, English is definitely the second language of the Philippines as far as I know. But even though they speak good English, they may not be able to understand your accent. You know, some of us who come from the South got a Southern drawl. Some of us who come from the UK have that British English. Some of us that come from Middle Eastern countries have a nice, you know, they kind of have different articulations in the way that they say their words. You feel me? So you have to be able to understand that even though they do speak English, they may not be able to understand you wholeheartedly and completely when you're trying to get a point across. I feel that usually in texting, it's a lot clearer, and it's very hard for her to deny that she understands your words. Okay. It's very hard for her to say, oh, I don't understand. And if she doesn't understand, you can explain it to her in plain text and she'll be able to pick up what you're putting down. So, like, for example, if you're trying to convince a young lady that, I want to see you, very easy for you to say, I want to see you, right? Let's say you're trying to convince her that, it's time for you guys to step it up a little bit and take it from point A to point B. In person, a lot of Filipinos that act like they don't understand what the hell you talk about. But in text message, it's very rare that you're going to come across a young lady that's going to be like, oh, I don't get it. And then, excuse me, and then if they don't get it, if you're not the type that's embarrassed to say it out loud or to say it to her face, you'll say it. But at least in text, it's a little bit easier. It's not face to face. No feelings get hurt. But what I've learned over time is if you want to tell a girl, look, I'm trying to hook up with you, I want to be with you, I want to be intimate with you, they may not understand that. And if they don't understand that, what you gonna tell them? Can me and you, make love and do all of this other shit? You understand? So what I'm trying to say is this: it's very easy to communicate with Filipinas in text because at the end of the day, it's hard for her to deny or act as if she's not being able to pick up what you're putting down. And that's what I've learned through my experiences texting. You can be direct, you can be clear, and it gives you an opportunity to get everything that you want out of the way early. Have you ever been in a situation where you're texting and all of that shit and you're having great conversation? Everything seems to be going well. Everything seems to be going right. And that's because you're able to ask questions the way that you want to without feeling guilty or without feeling nervous or sweaty and shit. Because a lot of people, when it comes to communicating with females, they've become really messed up with this technological world that we're living in. Back in the day before cell phones and all of that stuff, you know how the old players tell you, you had to just go talk to a girl in person. But text messaging, in my personal opinion, has made it easier for foreigners to communicate with Filipinos. I mean, you could say that's technology, period, email, online dating sites, etc. But despite all of that, let's say you're here in the Philippines and you're talking to a young lady. It's made it very easy for guys to be able to communicate with Filipinos through text message, because it's very rare that you're going to come across a situation that you can't actually explain, or that you can't actually explain to her in a way that in which she's able to understand. I can understand that when it comes to, like I said, speaking English to them in person, it can be difficult sometimes. Sometimes Filipinos have a tendency to act as if they're getting a nosebleed. Basically, too much English at one time is making their head hurt. No different than a Filipina trying to speak Tagalog to me as if I'm fluent. I'm like, damn, that shit making my head hurt. You got to come with some English words so I can pick up a little bit of what you're talking about. Same rules apply. In text messaging, if they need to Google words, they can Google it. But most of the time, they'll be able to understand. Now, I do want you guys to understand this. If you're going to communicate with Filipinas, every guy should know this already, but just in case you don't know, use simple words. Let's not use big words. Let's not break out the dictionary on the Filipina. That's not going to help you at all. Even the word articulate in words like, these big words, don't use them, because sometimes, I'm not saying that they don't get them. It's just that when you're trying to explain something in a simple context, why complicate it or convolute it with fucking big ass words? Okay. So use plain text and do not write a paragraph text. Okay. I've had to find this out the hard way. Back in the day, I used to want to express myself, so I would write long ass messages and stuff, and they would probably read the first sentence, maybe the last sentence, and be done with it. And basically everything that came in between all of that is lost in translation. So don't worry about writing long ass paragraph text messages. Nobody wants to read that. That's why there's a limit on the characters that you can write in text messaging, and use simple words. You know what I'm saying? If you want to tell a Filipina that you like her, just say, I like you. I find you attractive. Simple shit. It's not hard to do that. And again, this is why text messaging is probably the best thing for foreigners in the Philippines. Texting is the best thing for foreigners in the Philippines. I repeat, texting is the best thing for foreigners in the Philippines because it makes communication easy. I had a friend of mine This is the craziest story I could ever tell. And it was weird to me because I was thinking to myself, how in the world were they able to have a relationship based off of this? A friend of mine, old friend, I've known him since my first year of college. So we've known each other for damn near 10 plus years. So he's not from the US. He's actually Persian. He's actually from Turkey. So his English when he came to the Philippines was not great either. And I've come across a lot of guys who are in the Philippines that don't speak English at all. Or if they do, it's very, very limited. So communication is definitely a struggle for them, even when they're trying to have communications with their girlfriend or the girl that's with them. It's weird for me to see a foreigner in the Philippines, but the Filipina is communicating to people for him in English. You understand? It was a little weird for me, but I've seen that. But my friend, he's from Persia. He's Persian, but he's from Turkey. And when he got to the Philippines first time, he didn't speak English very well at all. So he was with this one girl. Apparently her English sucked too. So what he would do, his tactic of spitting game, and I shit you not, this is what he would do. In the morning time, the girl, and this is going to sound weird. In the morning time, the girl would point at the sun, right? So he would wait all day until the nighttime so that when he's talking to the girl or trying to communicate with her, he would point at the moon. And in hindsight, what he was telling this girl is, or what that girl was saying him is that you are my sunshine. And my man says you are my moon. Some shit like that. That was his way of communicating with his young lady. That was his way of communicating and talking to his girl. Now, in hindsight, it does sound pretty fucking like one of those situations where you're like, damn, that's kind of cute in a sense. But, the lack of English in that particular situation made it hard for them to communicate. And again, if you are a foreigner from the United States of America or any place that speaks English, whether it be Australia with their particular accent on English words, or the UK, my London blokes, whatever you want to call them, their accents on certain words, it makes communication easy because there is nothing that can be lost in translation through text messaging. Tell me this. There is absolutely nothing that can be lost in translation when you're sending a text message. Tell me, how is it that you can't understand a text message? And even in the text message, you can ask, do you understand me? Do you motherfucking understand me? At worst, what can she say? No. Okay, if you don't understand, you can find a different way to explain it to her. And yeah, it's going to probably be a pain in the ass to send all those characters and stuff like that. My text game is strong. I'm not going to lie. My text game is strong. It can be heavy. And I honestly believe you're absolutely right. Text messaging at times can be confusing if you make it confusing. I mean, if you have one of those small pads and shit where you're trying to send a message and those small as, characters and stuff, the letters that you're trying to send to, that can make it difficult. But I personally believe that text messaging or texting is the best thing that can happen to foreigners in the Philippines, because Filipinos always communicate through text. I promise you that they communicate through texting. That's why when Instagram and Twitter and all of that stuff was created, that shit is basically made for Filipino people, because that's all they do anyways. In the United States, you pick up the phone, you call the person you want to talk to. Text messaging every now and again, but most times you pick up the phone if you want to talk to them. And it doesn't hurt you because you know for a fact that you can be able to communicate with this person and they can understand your words. But if you feel as if you have an accent or your English is real heavy, it can be difficult for them to understand your English. That's why you send what you want to send in a text message. Filipina may call you, say hi, how are you, something simple. But when you're trying to explain something that you really need to get through, text messaging is the best way to do it. That way they can use their little foreigner dictionary if they got one on their phones, whatever it may be, to help them understand exactly what you're trying to communicate to them. It makes life easier. I promise you. I've been in situations where you've had people tell me, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying. So I'm like, okay, let me rearrange my words. Let me simplify it. And I'll give you an example. I was trying to tell a girl, let's meet up here, or let's meet up at this place. Or what did I say that she was confused by? Because even when I shorthand text messaging, Shorthand is definitely something that's, popping in the Philippines, but even shorthand text messaging, don't overdo the shorthand. That's what I will tell you. Because if you shorthand too damn much, I promise you're going to lose them in translation too. So I'm trying to remember exactly what I was trying to communicate and what ended up happening, where I had to rearrange my actual words so that she was able to understand what I was saying. But again, that makes it so much easier for you. If she says I don't get it or I don't understand, you know what that means? That means you need to rearrange the text. That means you need to rearrange words. Simplify it a little bit. That's easy. That's nothing. It's really nothing. So, that's just my little 2 cents on the entire situation. I feel like texting is the best thing that can happen for foreigners in the Philippines. If your English is not great, but you understand it, but maybe, how can I say this? You understand it and you can communicate it well, but sometimes you're like, maybe certain words that you say don't come out right. Like there are certain words in the English language that I say that girls may not be able to understand. That's why sometimes I find myself spelling it out so that they understand what I'm trying to say. Because, Filipinos have their own articulation and their own accents as well. So the way that I say words in my hard ass English accent, even though I've pretty much softened it up with some, with some, Filipino lingo myself, I've kind of been able to incorporate that in my own speech. But if you can't do that, texting is always going to be the next best thing. You understand? Texting is a lifesaver. Texting has made life easier. And I do believe that texting has made it easier for foreigners who don't speak good English, simply because, you can put a translate on there, or, translate what you're trying to say and translate it into something that is English. And like Kim Jong, you're right, man. Our slang is a little bit different than theirs, and we may not understand what they're trying to say. And, they may not understand what we're trying to say. Perfect example. I'll give you a word that's said differently in the Philippines than it is in the United States. The word Southern, Southren. The word Southern. I come from the Southern states, or Southern North Carolina, or whatever it may be. They pronounce it Southern, simply because that's the way it's spelled. That's how most Filipinos pronounce the word Southern. Southern is Southern to them. So, there are words that are out there that may be difficult for Filipinos to pick up on, which is why, again, texting is the best thing that can happen to foreigners in the Philippines. If I'm right or wrong, tell me right now. I'm just trying to be honest with you. Texting is a lifesaver, because there's no lost in translation when it comes to me. I give you everything in a text message. Do you understand what the hell I'm talking about? Is this for real? Are you okay with this? If you're not okay with it, tell me. So at least like, for example, if you're trying to get with a young lady, you're trying to have your intimate moment with her, and you're not sure if she's okay with it or not. No need to try to explain to her in person, because it may be difficult. It may be a little uncomfortable for her to have that conversation in person. Thank God for cell phones and technology and text messages, because you can say that and she can tell you if it's okay, a simple yes, or a no, or okay, we're good to go, or something. That way you know in advance, and you're not sitting there trying to figure this out while you've already gotten your hotel room, or you brung her back to your spot and you're sitting there trying to figure out if it's okay or not. You can get that answer before she even comes around. Now, I'm not talking about dealing with no ladies of the nights and ladies that work in particular industries that we are all aware of and familiar with. I'm talking about dealing with young ladies who genuinely have an interest in us as foreigners, who are normal girls who may not, be open to the idea, but then again, they may be open to it. You just never know unless you ask. Now, you got to ask the right way, and you got to pick the perfect time to ask, especially in a text message, because I'm telling you like this. If you come off too quick with it, they're going to hit you with all of you foreigners are all alike. I can't believe that you would say this to me. I can't believe that you would do this. Why do you all think that Filipinas are just sex objects, and all you want to do is have sex with Filipinas, and sex, siggity sex, sex. Come on, man. It's the remix, goddammit. Sex, siggity sex. All right. So you got to make sure that you got to pick your points and pick your poison when you choose to bring that up. And this is only when you're dealing with young ladies that are not looking for money from you all out the gate in that particular situation. Again, Texting is the best thing that can happen to foreigners in the Philippines. All right, so I see we got 24 watching. I appreciate all 24 of y'all coming through and showing love to the good dog. I see I only got 13 likes. What the fuck? Come on, man. Really? 23 watching and 13 likes. Y'all better get me to at least 20, man. Damn, come on. Doc over here hurting himself, and I'm over here spitting the remix to this ass. Y'all motherfuckers can't even hit me can't even put a like button on this shit. Y'all making me work too hard. Anyways, let me give my shout out to my people, bro. Shout out. I think I got everybody so far. I know I got everybody up to my boy Jason. I see Chaz in the building. What's going on? My brother Frederick from the great state of North Kakalaki. What's good with you, my G? My man Earl Owen says spitting game through text is an art. Yes, it is, man. It is an art that I feel that I have mastered to the best of my ability. I think I'm damn good. I think I'm real good. Actually, I prefer texting over actual conversation. And that's sad. Let me be honest with you. It is very sad when you prefer texting over regular conversation. And I only say that because text messaging allows me to say what I want to, express my true feelings, without having to feel nervous or without having to, put things out there in public or put that energy out there and make her uncomfortable. Because the last thing you want these hoes to do is think that you're a crazy some bitch for asking her to her face about certain things that should be kept, intimate. So, texting is an art, ladies and gentlemen. And I do believe that technology has made it easy for us to be able to communicate a little bit better, to be able to communicate without there being no misunderstandings. And at least if she ain't like that or she's not about that action, at least before you meet her in person and waste all your money on a Jollibee meal. Come on now, shit. I said, man, I could have saved my money on that burger McDo. Damn it. I said, I'm over here trying to figure this shit out. Now I got to talk to a person. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion on the matter. All right. So my boy Reggie Dollars in the building. I see you. The homie Captain Spaulding says girls can text you, but when you meet them, it can be a challenge talking to them. Yes, that's what I'm telling you, man. Girls know how to text. Texting is an art for them. They know that shit like the back of their hand. In person, that's why I'm saying everything that you need to get off your chest, tell them in a text messages. I'm lucky that with my girl, she's really good at English. I think she had to get good at English because she was dating me, but she's really good. I mean, there is nothing that is ever lost in translation when it comes to me and her, and I'm blessed for that. But in certain situations beforehand, you had to be able to explain something in a text message to see, okay, are we good? Are we good to go on this? Yes or no? You understand that? That really had to be what it is. Like my man Captain Spaulding says, you got to keep it short and simple, man. Don't do paragraphs, man. My brother, Mr. Wonderful, always good to see you in the building, my G. Belated happy birthday to you. The homie Kim Jong Barack, I see you in the building. My man Channel 19, much love to you, my G. San Juan says true because anyone south of Cebu City can possibly not understand English unless they're from Davao City. English is a tough language in the Philippines. Now, everybody says, oh, Filipinos speak English. Yes, they do. Sometimes it's broken English. Sometimes the English is limited. But for the most part, your average Filipino in general can understand English. But they understand it a whole lot better if you send it to them in a text message. I'll put it to you like that. They understand what you're saying a whole lot better when it's put into a text message, okay? Shout out to the homie David Webb. What's good with your family? Been a minute. Good to see you back here. Hope everything is good, and I hope you enjoyed your trip in the Philippines, my G. The pictures you sent me showed me that you enjoyed it very well, my G. So it's all good. Much love. Good to see you back in the building. Kim Jong Barack, exactly. They may not understand our slang. That's why texting is so much easier. Texting, you can slang words in text messages, but for the most part, if you just use proper King's English, they'll be able to understand you, and of course, vice versa. The popular word for there is to slow down, speak more slowly. Yes. Telling you, man, Filipinos do not have a problem saying you giving me a nosebleed. They have zero fucking problem in that. The homie Pedro in the building, what's good with you, man? Essential Classics, man. What's good with you, my G? Good to see you back in the building. I think that's my boy. I think he changed his name. I don't know if you're somebody new, my G, but appreciate you coming through. WhatsApp, Viber, all of that shit is a lifesaver. If you're not actually in the Philippines, these sites are very popular. I think the most popular site in the Philippines now is Wigo. I think Wigo is like that thing that they all have. Wigo and some other shit. But like I said, Viber and WhatsApp, Definitely saves lives and money. Get them free text and free messages going through. But like I said, man, texting is the best thing that can happen to you in the Philippines. There is no if, ands, or asses about it. I think that, like I said, the downside of it is when you become solely reliant on it. The only downside to texting is when you become solely reliant on it. And I think that's where, although texting and spitting game through text is an art, it definitely puts things in a different perspective because unfortunately when you text too much you may forget how to genuinely communicate with girls in general. Now, I'm not saying that happens to you or that's ever happened to me. I mean, we know how to communicate with girls for the most part, but you have those chosen few that rely so much on text messaging, like this particular generation in general. The young heads that we got to deal with right now, all they do is text and slide in the DMs and your Facebook messages. They don't really do Facebook that much anymore. But this particular generation has come full circle, and all they do is communicate through social media. They don't have Kakao Talk. There you go. That was the one I was looking for. That shit is very useful and very definitely the other one that they use a lot as well. But like I said, this particular generation has lost the art of communication and talking and asking people out to their face. I'm not saying that you can't ask them out to their face. I'm not saying that you can't ask for their number, to their face, because I think they can understand you enough to ask, can I text you sometime? Can I get your phone number? I think you can part words to at least get that if you meet them in public. Then get everything that you want out of the way while you're sending your text messages. But some people rely on it too much. And when it comes to actually having conversations, like when you actually meet them, when you actually go out on a date with them, you can't find anything to talk about because one of two things: you rely too much on text messaging, or the latter, which is you've already basically said everything that you needed to in a text message. So if you don't know how to generate a conversation with a Filipina in person, you are not going to get that girl. If you cannot generate a conversation with a Filipina in person, it'll be almost impossible for you to get her. Because I will tell you this, there is absolutely, sorry, I will say that it's very rare. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's very rare that a Filipina will carry the conversation with you or carry the conversation for you guys. Normally, the foreigner is required to get her opened up as far as the conversation is concerned in, person to person or personal meetups and stuff like that. But yeah, Earl Owens, Kakao Talk is definitely the shit. I'm not gonna lie, I don't use it, but WeChat, Kakao Talk, that's like the Philippine thing. Mr. Smith, my boy, says some Filipino women will pretend that they understand what you are saying. It gets on my nerves when they do that, just saying yes to every damn thing. You'll know if they don't get it because they'll just shake their head yes. That's why text messaging is the best thing for foreigners in the Philippines, because when you ask the question, you can say, do you understand? Do I need to repeat it? Most of the time they'll get it, or they'll ask somebody that's near them what this person is trying to say. You got Filipinos do that quite often. They definitely have a tendency to ask friends to help them understand text messages if that's the case. Before I move on, I see we got 20 watching. I see I got about 20 likes. That's about funny because I'm averaging out. That's pretty cool. Appreciate you guys coming through. For the new people coming in, make sure you get the likes up on this video. Make sure you caress, molest, and de-stress yourself all over that like button. It wants it. It needs it. It most definitely has to have it. Like I said, if you guys want to support the channel, please feel free to do so. But of course, the good doc is happy that you come through. Spend just a little bit of your time with him today. Now you're in den. I'm going to go ahead and get back to my regularly scheduled programming. Make sure you check out all of my platforms, the Patreon, which is fucking awesome. The masterclass is the best thing that I could have ever come up with. If you guys aren't on it, you slipping and tripping. Ebooks are definitely listed in the link in the description area below. Don't sleep on those either. They're very short, quick reads, but they're fucking fantastic reads. All right. So let me go and get back to this conversation. Texting is the best thing that can happen to foreigners in the Philippines. That shit rhymes. I love myself. Anyways, my boy San Juan says, one thing you need to know is the broken English part they speak in not the most proper of grammar, but you really understand what they're saying. Normally you can, yes. I haven't had a problem dealing with Filipinos or Filipinas in broken English. I've never really had an issue. You pick up the general synopsis of the conversation. All right. Now, when you pick up the general synopsis of the conversation, shout out to my boy Thomas Lev. I appreciate the support, my G. I love you for it. Like my man said, the broken English and the grammar part, it could be hard it's harder for them than it is for us. Now, I do find myself, and I hate to say this is really the worst type of wording that I could use, but I'm going to use it in essence to this particular topic. Sometimes you do have to dumb yourself down, and it's not in a disrespectful way to Filipino people. Sometimes you have to break your English up in order for them to understand it. It's just a natural order of things. When you're in the Philippines, you're not going to have people who can understand your words verbatim, or people who can understand exactly what you're saying when you're saying it. So you have to dumb yourself down sometimes. It's not that the Filipina or the Filipino was dumb. I'm not saying that. You have to dumb down your English, simplify it per se, simplify the English in order to make sure they understand exactly what you're trying to say. That's it. It's not going to hurt you. It might give you a headache that you have to use this shorthand English, but if you're trying to communicate in person, that's kind of what you have to do. Again, which is why I say out loud one more time, texting is the best thing that can happen to foreigners in the Philippines. That way you can avoid all this breaking shit down. When you write it in a text message, I do believe that they'll be able to understand it a whole lot better than trying to say it to them to their face. All right. So yes, even though the grammar may not be perfect, it definitely is helpful down the line whenever you're talking to them in text messages. Get everything that you want to get out of the way that time, so when you meet them in person, pretty much things should be smooth sailing. You would hope so. Once you get it out the way, everything should be smooth sailing. My man Kim Jong says too much texting and no calling might make it a little awkward when you meet them for the first time. Again, if you don't know how to carry a conversation, you're fucked. Okay, I'm sorry. If you don't know how to carry a conversation with the Filipino, you are fucked. The reason that is because they're not going to talk to you. They're not going to start the conversation. Very rare do they carry the conversation. You have to understand that when you're in person, break that English up. If you got to, do exactly what you have to make it work. All right. But first time, if all you do is text and call, first meetups will probably be a little bit uncomfortable for her. She's going to be nervous. She's going to be shy. Come on, that's already expected. So you have to break out of your own damn shell and make it happen. You understand? You got to do this for yourself. And I've had to learn this too. Always have a lineup of questioning. Actually, for anybody, if any of you guys have ever purchased the prescription, let me know. I'm just curious. I'm not asking you. I mean, if you actually bought the book, you would actually know that I put conversation starters in that book. I forgot that I did that shit. But in the prescription for guys interested in dating Filipinas, in that particular book that I wrote, I put conversation starters in there, ways to help you carry along the conversation. Certain questions you can ask that require more than just yes or no answers, things that will allow her to break out of her shell and actually bring a little bit more to the table than yes or no answers. I mean, I actually put that shit in there and I forgot that I did it until I thought about it just now. So yeah, I even mentioned that in the book. There are ways to help carry along the conversation. My man San Juan says, I really don't like foreigners who act like they don't understand them because the girl is not in a proper grammatical position. Yeah, that's stupid. You know exactly what the fuck they trying to say. It is not an English exam. Exactly. It's a casual conversation. I'm 100% on that one with you. You do have those chosen few foreigners that actually act as if they don't understand what you're saying because you didn't put it in a proper form. I know the types of guys you're talking about. I knew a guy like that. I found it to be cringy. Like, dude, you can't sit there and expect them to speak perfect damn English. English is not their first language. So why am I going to sit there and look at you and expect you to speak it perfectly? I'm okay if you don't speak perfect English. As long as I'm able to pick up exactly what you're trying to tell me, everything is perfectly fine. I do understand broken English very well as well. Shout out to my man Curtis Usher. I see you with a building, my G. Appreciate you coming through and showing love. My man Essential Classic says, I don't usually text because a person can misinterpret what you send. That is okay. Now let me talk about that, because that's actually true. That is actually a part of texting that could definitely not be the greatest side of it. The misinterpretation of what you send in a text message is definitely hard to overcome. Unfortunately, those situations do happen from time to time. You're going to have conversations with young ladies, and they're going to be like, oh, or they're going to take it as a sign of disrespect or something that was, not meant to be a certain kind of way. Sometimes Filipinas take it a certain kind of way. I'm trying to think off the top of my head a time when that was actually something that happened. When you say something, but you don't mean it in a way in which they take it. That shit happens quite frequently. So you have to be careful in your text messages at certain times, like telling jokes or, something like that. You just got to be careful with how you, present the text message. I mean, your average foreigner is smart enough not to do that shit, but you do have some that may have a misinterpretation with what you said. So Essential Classics, that is definitely something that happens. All right, that is definitely something that happens. And sometimes it could really ruin a whole fucking relationship. Everything could be going well, everything could be going right, and then she takes something the wrong way and all hell breaks loose. Oh my God. Can you imagine trying to explain yourself out of that? Y'all don't understand how hard and how fuck of a headache it is to that one, but it is what it is. My man Reggie says, plus they can translate the text if they don't understand it. True. My boy SML was good with you, bro. San Juan, you say you disagree because if you speak English like you and I do, they understand completely what you're saying. But I'm trying to think of an example, guys. I know I'm not the only one that this has happened to. Shit. I know this is not the only. I am not the only guy that this has happened to. Now, I get what you're saying, though, right? We speak pretty damn good English. I like to think that I speak pretty damn good art, and I'm very articulate with my words, and no different than a lot of us are. I understand that, but I can almost put it in my head. Maybe I shorthanded a text message wrong, and that's what led her to take something that I said the wrong way. I don't know. I'm trying to think of it, but it can happen. It doesn't happen often. I've never had this situation, doesn't happen all the time, but there have been situations before that I am aware of where guys or have said something in a text message and shit hit the fan. As a matter of fact, if you guys give me one split second, I got a text message. I've got to fucking figure this out. This is really getting on my nerves because a friend of mine sent me a message. It was months ago. But what he said was that he was having a hard time. He had a misunderstanding with his wife or his girlfriend or some shit. And he said something and something happened and he ended up having to, she got mad. She went through her whole tempo situation. Guys, I'm trying to find it. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna look for it, but while I'm trying to find it, I'll read the comments here. My boy Mr. Essential, my man says, happens too often. Because of that, I started working on face-to-face conversations. I mean, it's good to talk to them in person, but don't forget, if you know how to utilize text messaging to make it work for you, I promise you text messaging is something that you should not overlook. Okay. My man Mr. Smith says, I know it sounds lame, but using emojis while texting is very good to see your emotions. Hey, the emojis. Yes, Filipinos love emoji. Kim Jong Barack 100% on that. They use emojis like it's going out of style. No, it's not lame, Mr. Smith. I promise you it's not lame. I use emojis. I use emojis with my girl all the damn time. Like, I believe that 50% of our conversation is emojis. Now that I think about it, I never really paid attention to it. Gifts, yeah, but I don't really fuck with gifts myself because my phone is old, so I don't know. But yeah, man, the use of emojis definitely helps the conversation go forward, and it does help express your emotions too. So, Mr. Smith, do not shit on yourself, because I do it too, and probably everybody else, once they figured out how to communicate textually. That's the word I'm going to use today. Once you figured out how to communicate with a Filipina textually, you'll definitely get her, where I think you wanted to be. All right. Yep, Sam One, you're right, man. He can't be the only one. I know I do it too. He said, I'm going through this, just like you said. He says, it simplified the conversation. It's all good. Okay, true that. Shout out to May, all the way from the Philippines. What part of the Philippines are you from? If you don't mind me asking. Everybody say hi to May. SML, my man, says, Chica News said that when I got upset, my North Carolina accent got thicker, then she would make fun of it. That's true, man. Dude, when I get upset, my slang comes through heavy. I can't do anything about it, man. I'd be pissed off. So I know what you're saying, though. When I get angry, though, my shit get a little thick too, man. So it kind of makes it makes her laugh, but it's just something that I'd be like, man, shit. Ain't nothing that I can say. Okay, hold on. I found the message, man. Give me a second. I'm just gonna read this. Shit, now I gotta find it. So my man sent me a message. Shout out to him. I'm not gonna dime him out. Oh, Bulacan, beautiful place there. Appreciate you coming through and showing love to all of us here on the Dr. Mike TV channel. I see we got 21 watching. I would appreciate you guys getting the likes up on the video. Make sure you caress, molest, and distress that like button. It wants it, it needs it, it has to have it. So my man says, he says, man, he said he's got, okay, so he was coming. He said, bad news. He said his girl is tripping right now. And then I said, they always tripping on something. It's like night and day sometimes. That's what I said. Some Filipinos just get angry because long distance relationships or whatever. Shit. He says, sometimes I feel like I'm speaking a foreign language. He says, our jokes, our slang terms that we use here in the U.S. He said, I'm realizing I have to be careful. Okay, so that's all he said. I'm sorry, guys. I thought that he actually mentioned something, but that's the truth, man. You got to be careful with what you choose to say to a Filipina, because I promise you this, man, it will be the worst thing that could ever happen to you. I promise you, it could be the worst thing that could ever happen to you. But like I said, when I get angry, I'll be talking shit. All my properties go right out the window for sure. Man. Oh shit, you're moving to North Carolina? That's a great place, man. That's my shit. Shout out to the great state of North Carolina. Everybody showing love to my thing. Anyways, like I said, texting is the best thing that can happen to you in the Philippines. Texting is a tool that you should utilize to your benefit, especially when there's parts of conversations or if you're having difficulty explaining something, if you're having difficulty in your explanation of something. You know what you're trying to say, but you kind of feel like she may not know what you're trying to say. Grab that phone, send her a text message, and give her a chance to read it. And I like text messaging. See, the thing with text messaging that a lot of people take for granted is the fact that people can take their time with a text message. All right, I'm not gonna lie, face to face, man. You gotta be quick on your toes. You gotta float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You feel me? You gotta be light on your feet when you're having that face to face conversation. So you gotta have those answers ready to go. At least with text messaging, you can take your time. Not too much time. I feel like if a girl asks you a question in a text message and it take you longer than 5 minutes to respond, she may think you lying. If she says, do you have a girlfriend or some shit, and you take too long to respond to that, she gonna think you lying. So, but I do believe that text messaging gives you a chance to really come up with great text. I'm not gonna lie. I I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it out loud. I'm gonna shout out to my boy. I don't know if he wants his shout out, but I'm gonna give it to him anyways, because me and him think the same. Okay, this is something that we do. I'm not sure if you guys do this, but if you do this, press 1. So me and my homeboy Mike, we were having a conversation, right? And the thing about me back in the day and what he's doing now, being in the dating market and things like that, he has pre-text messages. Everybody should have pre-text messages, especially when you're in the process of getting to know a girl. You got to have pre-text messages because you're going to get those same damn questions and I'll be damned if you're going to have to type those questions, type your answers all the way out all the time. So if a girl asks you to tell me a little bit about yourself, it is okay to have a pretext for that, so that, it's basically a text that's introducing yourself to her. If you already know the general questions that girls ask, especially during the get to know you part, like I tell you, the getting to know you stage is the worst part of any relationship I've ever been in, simply because I hate it, because the questions are repetitive, they become redundant, and I go into autopilot. I cannot help myself. So pre-text message your your answers. Now, if she's going to ask you an honest question about how do you feel about dating Filipinas or something like that, I think you should be honest in your answer. You shouldn't pretext shit like that, because some girls, and I know Filipinas are listening to me right now, but some girls know when your shit is too constructed, okay? I heard this. Some Filipinas will tell you, man, what you do, just copy and paste. I've seen girls say shit like that. Girls know. So you got to be careful with how you choose to copy and paste. I would definitely change some of the words sometimes, because when you have that constructed perfect text message, she's going to know that was probably a copy pasted answer. But as far as the getting to know you question and answer part, like this is a fucking beauty pageant, the question and answer portion of a beauty fucking pageant, and from that particular aspect, I don't think that the copy and paste is bad. But especially when it comes to answering questions from Filipinas about how you feel about dating Filipinas, have you ever dated Filipinas before, blah, blah, blah. Those questions, just answer honestly and use simplistic language. Like I said, man, say, okay, yeah, I enjoy dating Filipinas. I find them to be highly attractive. I find them to be a lot better than the women that I dated before. These are simple fucking answers that you can come up with. Doesn't require you to have a full-blown 30-minute, paragraph, 2-paragraph long answer or nothing like that. Because she probably gonna know, especially, and this is the truth. Think about it like this. This is the way I like to look at it. If you typed her a damn 2-paragraph answer in 5 minutes or 2 minutes or anything like that, she's going to know that was a copy pasted answer. You feel me? So think about the timing when it comes through with text messaging too. Timing is essential. I say timing is very, very essential when it comes to asking certain questions, leading questions that could possibly lead to you taking the relationship to the next level. Be careful how you utilize those particular questions. Coming out in the first 2 or 3 text messages and asking her about that, unless you're just trying to rush it and you don't really give a fuck, that's okay. But if you really want to get from point A to point B, you're not going to probably do that unless the conversation is going that direction. Unless she's taking it there, I would say fall back on asking those questions. Don't take too long to get to the point, but don't rush it within the first 2 or 3 texts. That's all I'm going to say. You got to be honest, because Filipinos know. Filipinos talk to more foreigners than you believe. And because they talk to more foreigners than you actually believe, be careful with the way you choose the text message. They're going to be like, yo, that text message was perfectly written. Like, he took his time with that. He took his time to write a 2-paragraph answer, and he sent it to me in 2 minutes. And I'm supposed to believe that was an honest answer, nothing that was pre-prepared. Come on, gentlemen. Be smart. Be smart. I love you guys, but be smart about it, okay? My man Sam One says, true story, says I've known personally people who have copy and pasted answers and forgot to change the name. Oh my God. Why would you put first of all, why would you put the name anyways? I would never put a name in a copy pasted answer. Never put the girl's name in a copy pasted answer. If she's asking you, tell me a little bit about yourself. Okay. Thanks for asking, and then you give your answer. Why would you copy paste an answer and have the girl's name in there? And then you'd be like, oops, I'm sorry. You can't come back from that shit. Calling a girl Maria when her name is Jackie or some shit, that shit gonna make you look bad. Calling a girl Janice when her name is May, shout out to May, is not gonna not gonna put you in a good position, my G. I can only imagine how it feels when a Filipina is called the wrong name. I already know how your average woman reacts when you call a Filipina when you call her the wrong name. So, you got to be careful. You just got to be careful. Give me a second, guys. I gotta send something real quick. But yes, I do believe that using the emojis does help to, get the conversation started, or to at least express emotions. And a lot of girls appreciate it. I think that Filipinos truly appreciate the whole emoji bit. I'm not so sure how it is in the US though. I think actually most conversations are used through emojis as well here. As far as I know, emojis are definitely a universal thing now. So I'm not surprised that it's a big deal in the Philippines. Not surprised that it's a big deal in the US or any other country you go to. I think emojis help to express true emotion. My thing is, I never understood the poop emoji, man. That's the one emoji I never understood. And the only reason I never understood it is because people use it in like fucked up context. I mean, the way that they use it in their conversation, I'm trying to figure out how it's supposed to fit. Most of the time they do it, but most of the times they don't. So, to each their own, ladies and gentlemen. Just having some fun tonight. I appreciate all y'all coming through. I see I got 18 in the building. Appreciate all 18 of you watching me now, showing love to the good doc. Make sure you guys get the likes up on the video. Doc would highly appreciate that. Yes, Sam Juan, you're 100% authentic, correct. You cannot come back from calling a girl the wrong name. You will never come back from that. Trust me. Trust me. I can you imagine if I called the mean one the wrong name? Shit, I wouldn't be alive today. Can you imagine if I fucked up in a text message? Say, I mean, well, like I say, I mean, when you're in a relationship, it's a little bit easier because you use pet names. I don't call my girl by her first name. I haven't called my girl her first name in like years. Okay, I haven't called her by her real name in years. Unless I'm pissed off at her, then I might call her out by her full government name just to be funny and shit. Because she doesn't like her middle name. Like, her middle name is a name that's not common. It's a unique middle name. So, I'll call out her middle name and shit, or I'll call her by her middle name and she'll get angry. So, I might do that shit, but I've never really called her by her name. But I can only imagine the type of dramatic shit that I would have to go through if I ever called her the wrong name. All right. So y'all need to make sure y'all never do that. If it's your relationship, don't get yourself in trouble, man. You better run while you still can, my G's. You better run while you still can. Run while you're still alive. Because if you want to see tempo, call a chick the wrong name. Go for it. I double dog dare you. People make videos about it on YouTube and they think it's funny. But when the cameras are rolling, it kind of seems like it's fake. But, I would never even remotely try that shit. Because I'll never hear the end of it. Who is this bitch? Who is so-and-so? Who the fuck? Man, even if it was a joke, she'll never let it go. And that's what you have to expect from Filipinos. They will never let that girl's name go again. Let you fuck up or let you do something wrong. That girl's name is going to come through. That girl's name is going to come through all the time, My man Curtis says, yes, texting for me is good for me to be about 3 days after that. I want to do a video chat. Take your time. Like I said, whatever works best for you, man, knock it out. Sam Juan says, it's the same in the US. You just got to keep it real after you put the you got to keep it real after you put the emoji. He said, can't deviate from the said emoji with anything contrary. True. My man Kim Jong says you would be live streaming from a hospital bed if you did that. Shit. You remember what I was talking about last night? If I had my legs chopped off and shit, yep, I go live to make sure y'all know that I ain't bullshitting. You best believe it, man. You better believe it. You better believe it. I will go live streaming from the hospital bed, and people go ask what happened, but I can't remotely even tell you guys what happened because I'm so embarrassed that it even happened in the first place. So it'll definitely be a cringe-worthy moment, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Y'all gonna get this. My man says you'll get shot like your boy. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get my feelings hurt. No, I'm really gonna get shot. Like, I mean, actually, more or less stabbed. I think she's more of an intimate person, so she may not. She doesn't handle guns, but let a bitch get a knife in her hand and it's a wrap. Okay, I'll put it to you like that. She'll probably stab shit out of me. You understand? And I ain't got time for that. Okay, stabbing is more of an emotionally driven thing. You can shoot somebody or walk away, right? But I'm telling you, it's very emotional when they get up close and personal with that knife. So yeah, I'm probably gonna get my shit cut off the whole nine. I'm already expecting it to come. That's why as soon as I ever fuck up, call her the wrong name, and I see that shift in her face, oh, I'm just gonna have to go away. I'm just gonna have to leave that relationship because there's no way you're coming back from that. I'm gonna just pack my shit and get the hell out. May not even pack my shit. May just leave. May just leave. May just leave. So Joji, how you doing, baby? She says, I hate texting. I'm too old for that. Are you kidding me? Texting is still the thing. Texting is the best thing for foreigners in the Philippines. She says, I can talk all day, but I can't text all day. Always tell someone if you want to talk, just call. Calling is not always the best route, but yes, if you do find somebody like you who speaks pretty good English and you can pretty much have a general conversation with people, that's different. If you have a girl that you can talk to, yes, call. That's not a problem. But I'm telling you, texting is the best thing for foreigners in the Philippines. Just to make sure that things are not lost in translation. Just my personal opinion only. How you guys feel about it, take it to the chat box. All right, let me know what you guys think. So my man SM, hold on. Yeah, interesting. Anyways, my man SML says I can see the mean one saying after she does it. Yeah, she gonna put my ass to sleep. She gonna be like, don't speak. Dude, she's crazy, man. I love her, but I would not fuck with that girl. I put my life on everything I love. I will not fuck with her in that way. Like, I joke around a lot, but there are certain jokes that are not funny. Okay, you gotta know what you can get away with and what you can't get away with. And certain jokes are not funny, and that's one of them. So that's a game I will never play. So my man Sam Juan says, damn, he said that's like the Thai girl. They stab boys for fucking with their emotions. Don't be fucking with my emotions, Smokey. You stupid, bro. Your big worm voice. I like Big Perm. Shout out to my boy Sam Juan, you funny. Dr. Feelgood was good, man. I'm glad that you were able to catch the live. Unfortunately, it's almost towards the end of it. I don't know. Are you guys getting notifications, or are you guys just magically randomly tripping and falling over a Dr. Mike TV live stream? Because I don't know if I'm getting notifications. I know that it put out the 30 minutes before I go live thing. I know that, but I mean, shit's for real, man. I'm not trying to die, but yeah, I hope you guys are getting the notifications. I try my best to schedule these out in advance so that you guys get an idea of when I'm coming on. So if you can make it, you can go ahead and put it on. But if you can't, to each their own. Most people randomly catch me. That's the funny part. I don't know why. My notifications don't work, but like I said, I'll keep going live and you guys can always catch the replays. It's never a problem for me. They're always going to be there. So my man Chad says, that's what I do also. I call her by her first name when I'm angry with her. Otherwise, it's always the love name. And her phone is broken. She's dying to video with me instead of just texting. That's true. A lot of girls do want to see your face. Like, once you've texted as much as you could possibly text, then it graduates to let's video call. Let's find time to video call. Let me see what you look like. The shit's crazy. So you guys are randomly catching me. That hurts my feelings. Fuck. Most people get notifications. Some people don't. That shit weird. Did you guys hit the notification bell? When you guys subscribe to the channel, did you hit that notification bell, that little bell in the corner? Because normally they tell people to hit that notification bell so that you catch all of my videos and shit. I wonder if that shit actually works, though. Like, when you hit it, if it shows up. But yeah, maybe you guys have to hit that notification bell. That sounds funny because that sounds like what you say in the beginning of the video, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss my videos and all that shit. Well, if you hit the bell and you still catch me randomly, at least you guys can catch me on the replay. I don't plan on taking this one down anytime soon. So it's good to see you guys in the building. It has been fun. It has been real. So you know what time it is. It's shout out time. I see we got 22 watching. I appreciate all 22 of you coming through and showing love to the good dog. Make sure you guys hit the like button, caress, molest, and de-stress it. It wants it. It needs it. It most definitely has to have it. Hold on. Did I miss a text? Kim Jong-Barack, I'm not lying. I think the mean one would stab the shit out of me. You know, when you're... See, the thing is, you have to understand your woman. All right? You got to understand your woman. Y'all think I'm playing. You have got to understand your lady. All right? Let me put it to you like this. If you know your lady is emotional, or you know she has the tendency to be emotional because she's emotionally invested in the relationship, you gotta understand that if you fuck with her emotions and shit, she likely to kill you. You know, you gotta understand, especially if these motherfuckers are unstable. I'm not saying that's my girl, but if you're dealing with some chicks that have a tendency to have some unstable emotional shits happening on in their life, you gotta be careful with what you say. Okay, you gotta be careful with how you choose to navigate that situation. And the reason I say that is because I don't want you to die. You know, I want you to be here. All right. I want you guys to be a part of this. I want you to join the Dr. Mike TV channel. All right. All right. So let me go ahead and shout out my people. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any text messages. I see my man Sam one says the real good girls only want video chat after a certain point. True. Texting becomes boring after a certain point. But like I say, in the beginning, it's the best thing that can happen to foreigners in the Philippines. All right. Earl Owens, I'm glad you get the notifications. My man Kim Jong-Barack says, I jokingly said to my Filipina that she gets on my nerves, but she took it seriously. Oh, yes. I've said that one to the mean one, too. You should see the change in her demeanor. I'll be like, God damn, man, you get on my nerves. She's like, oh, so I get on your nerves now? And then you got to deal with all that emotional shit that, oh, I'm not going to talk because you told me to be quiet. You know, that's the lost in translation. There you go. That's what I was trying to come up with. A good example of how text messaging could be taken the wrong way. Maybe a girl's, like, honestly, I'll put to you like this. Let's say that a girl says something jokingly towards you and you're like, haha, LOL, shut up. They will literally believe that you're telling them to shut up. Like you're really telling them to shut up in like the mean way, not like a joking, haha, shut up. So that's how text messages can be misinterpreted. That's the best example that I could possibly come up with right now. But there are more. You know, when you're joking with a Filipino, telling them to shut up or, you know, do something like that, or like you're getting on my nerves. Yeah, man, that's how that shit can get lost in translation. Easy. Oh my God, they'll think that you really mean it. They'll be angry at you. And you can tell that they're angry because you see it in their emojis. You can tell she's upset because you see it in her emojis. She's giving you the fucking fiery face and shit. And you think it's funny, but she's actually expressing how angry she is. I'm like, God damn, I shouldn't have said that joke then. Huh? You know, you learn what you should and should not say. You learn what you can and cannot get away with. So my man San Juan says, sometimes YouTube does strange things with people's channel. They don't send notifications nor promote your channel as recommended as other people. Yeah, that's true. Eddie Jackson, we had a pretty good number when we first got in. So yeah, the likes, people have come and gone. So that's why the likes are higher than the viewership. Some people are out, in and out. But I appreciate you coming through and showing love to the OG, the good Dr. Mike TV. Man, I'm good, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've said everything that I wanted to say in reference to this particular topic. Final thoughts are definitely as follows. Texting is the best thing that can happen to foreigners in the Philippines as long as you know how to utilize it to your benefit. Definitely make sure that when it's time to elevate the communication between you two, you graduate accordingly. So starting with text messaging, moving on up to the good old video chat, and then meeting in person. That is if this is a long distance bid, but you know, You guys know how that game goes. I shouldn't have to tell you all that. So my man Chaz, my bad, says she's dying to video chat with me instead of just texting. We've texted long enough. Oh yes. When they're ready for that, that's when you're ready to take it to the next level, my G. So as I call everybody out and shout everybody out and touch everybody in the most inappropriate way humanly possible, let me go ahead and get this together. Let me go ahead and shout my people out. And while I'm shouting you out, if I miss your name, leave it down at the bottom. You know, I'll make sure I'll catch you when I come back through. Guys, I'm working on a video right now. This video is going to take probably about a couple weeks or so. I'm trying to figure out the best time to... I'm going to start editing it soon, but should be a good one. I'm actually happy about the way that it turned out. I'm not going to divulge too much information about it. You guys will know about it when I do it. It's not going to be any of my upcoming videos, but soon enough you guys will hear about it. But it's definitely one that I liked, one that I'm actually getting more responses than I expected. Okay, so shout out to my boy Chaz. I see you. Eddie Jackson, much love to you, my G. The homie San Juan, my man Kim Jong Barack, my brother Earl Owens, SML. I see you guys. Dr. Feel Good. Make them feel good. Make them feel good. Appreciate you coming through and showing love to the good doc. Joji, how you doing, baby? Thank you for showing and actually expressing your truths. Thank you for sharing that texting is not something that you like to do. Found that interesting because most Filipinos don't have a problem with texting, but sometimes it can get boring when the time is right, of course. My man Curtis Usher, man, much love to you. May 14, thank you for coming through and showing love. Promise not to call you the wrong name before I get my feelings hurt. SML, I think I got you, but I'm getting you again. The brother, Mr. Smith, my boy Essential Classics. Appreciate y'all coming through and showing love. The homie Reggie Dollars. Appreciate you coming through and showing love to the good Doc Thomas Love. Appreciate you, my G. Appreciate the donation and the support to the Dr. Mike TV channel. You know I only do this for my people, and I'm about as good as it gets when it gets to getting when I'm doing what I'm doing and all of that shit. Just talking shit. All right, man. Let me shout out the homie Pedro. Appreciate you coming through and showing love to the good Doc. The homie David Webb. Good to see you back. He goes by one letter. His name is D. Okay. Much love to you, family. Channel 19. Appreciate you coming through and showing love. My brother, Mr. Wonderful. My brother from another, Mr. Wonderful. I see you in the building. Showing love to the good doc. The homie Captain Spaulding. Much love to you. I see my boy Reggie Dollars. I got you, though. Frederick from the great state of North Kakalaki. Much love to you, my G. Appreciate you coming through. Jason Harris, I hope the Philippines is treating you well, my friend. You know how to reach me. If you want to talk about some things or ask me some questions, hit up the doc in the email. Beagle Brian, hating on me because I'm late, but y'all be all right. Andy Orlano, I did not see you in the chat, my G, but thank you for coming through and being the first one in the building. All right, let me scroll my black ass all the way back down. I didn't mean that in a racial way, but let me scroll my ass all the way back down to make sure that I didn't miss any comments before I go ahead and shut this sumbitch down. Okay. I'm sorry if I cuss too much. If my cursing is a problem, please leave a note in the suggestion box so that I can make sure that I read all of your suggestions and shit. If there's any suggestions that you want to leave it in the comment section below. I know I curse sometimes, but sometimes it's fun. Sometimes you have to be able to curse it out. And I hope that I'm not offending anybody. I don't hope that we don't have people with virgin ears. I wish that I could put fucking TVMA thing here for mature audiences only, because you know how people do. Everybody be up in their feelings and shit. I don't need your panties in a bunch. Need y'all to rock with the good doc and enjoy the time, enjoy the show. That's why I do this shit, because it's fun. D Rap the JD, brother, I hope all is well for you, my G. It's been a while since I heard from you. Sorry that we didn't get a chance to link up, man. That's been, I don't know. Hey, bro, are you still in the Philippines or you're not here yet? Or where are you at right now? I didn't know if you were going to stay for a while or not, but I am mad that I didn't get a chance to link up with you, man. That was a bad time for me to get together, man. It's been fucked up. But much love to my brother DE Rap, aka the homie JD Orca in the building. Much love to you, man. Reggie, you're going to be there in November. Yo, anybody who's coming to the Philippines at any given time, email the good doc. Let me know where you're going to be at, and I can drop a pin in the location so that I can see exactly where you are in reference to me. See if we can try to make that happen. All right, you guys, you know, Doc's always all over the place. I really don't stay still. I really don't stay still. I might sit down in my videos, but I'll be all over the place and nowhere at all. I promise you that. So I love you guys sincerely. Shout out to the homie Thomas Love, Cebu City in October. Okay. So my man Reggie's going to be here in November. I think my boy Mr. Smith is already here. I think you're living here, my G. I'm not sure, but Reggie, if I'm around, man, I will take you up on that offer, brother. I will take you up on that. But shout out to my G's. Appreciate you guys coming through. Appreciate you enjoying the good dog. I appreciate you guys appreciating me and the entertainment aspect that I try to bring to my channel, the edutainment aspect that I try to bring to the channel. I do it for you, okay? I do this for myself too, but I do it for y'all. I do it to help you guys out with my thought process of how I feel things are going and how I think things should be. And I hope that you guys are enjoying seeing as though people still come around and listen to me talk my shit. I guess that's a good sign. All right. So I'm going to leave it with that. It has been fun. It has been real, but the good doc is officially out. At least not go. But alam. Oh shit, I'm sorry. My boy, oh, you were in Malate for today, but headed home tomorrow. Oh man, all right. That's unfortunate, man. Fuck. Next time, man, I got you, man. I think I owe you one. JD, I got you. Next trip, I got you, man. But it's all good. Yeah, it sucks. But I appreciate you, man, reaching out to the good doc on that one. But like I said, man, it has been fun. It has been real. But the good doc is officially out. At least Nakopa Alam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, I love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Deuces.